IDS 301, Fall 2020 Session A. How you doing? It is Sunday afternoon, I think, August 23rd, 3 o'clock approximately, and just got done watching the Champions League final, in case any of you know what that is. But thought I'd get video 2 out. I have a lot of what I call housekeeping to take care of here. And so let me just kind of rattle off some of this stuff on my notes. Videos are not extra credit, just so you know. I've had a great response from the entire class in terms of the academic integrity agreement, the syllabus quiz, this first instructor module video, and then even the intros. I'll get to those in a minute. Yeah, there's only 3 students out of 58 that haven't done anything yet. There's always stragglers like that. And there's only 3 other ones that haven't watched the videos. And again, it's like anything else at a class. I mean, you want to call it required? Um, you're adults. What's required? You know, it's a scary thought if you really think about it, but none of it's required, right? You don't have to pay your electric bill. That's not required either. Now, there's consequences, of course. I don't need to tell you that, but I'm just saying that uh, all the class points should add up to 1,000, except for that portfolio at the end, which is worth 50. If you continue to look at that as extra credit, that's fine. Okay, it's straight A, B, C, D, E in this course. So that's that on that. Let's see. I'll just jump around a little bit. The first discussion board, your intros. Wow. I don't think I've definitely not had a class with more diverse backgrounds and endeavors and objectives and locations. It's right up there. Some of the disciplines is a wide range. It reminded me of one semester where I had somebody with dance, somebody with geology. I think that was a 302 class though, but so that's great. I look forward to seeing what you're doing. Now, the bad news, I guess, I don't know. I don't think a lot of you have signed up in my 302 in Fall B. Kind of bums me out because I like to continue with my students. It's really neat to do that. Could just been just the way it happened, I guess. But if you happen to be taking 302 in the spring or something, look for me doing that too. I'd love to have you back. I say that already, thinking that this is a great bunch of students. Like I said, all age groups, locations, occupations, objectives. Very, very impressive. The music, well, I'm totally out of the loop now. I'm just it's just sad how off the music I am, but it'll happen to you someday. So let's see. Okay, so let me also talk about, remember, your degree is a Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies, right? I don't know if they might call it a Bachelor of Arts, Interdisciplinary Studies, but it's interdisciplinary studies. You're not getting a bachelor in engineering, a bachelor in business, a bachelor in communication. It's interdisciplinary studies. It's not going to say your concentrations on the diploma. You're you're going to sell those concentrations. So it's not a major, it's not a minor. You could be minoring something, I grant you that, obviously. But I don't want you to be confused because maybe at the end of the semester there might be a question about that. What's your degree? You should know that, right? Okay, cool. So you should have 2 concentrations. And if you don't, I think you're either a straight organizational leadership or something. But if I asked you about that in your intro, please, be cognizant of that, address it with your advisor if needed. Or if you haven't decided what those concentrations are, I'm not sure you can get through a course like this, okay? But, talk to me. Again, connect with me if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything in the class, okay? Anything. This is, for many students, it's a new way of doing things with me because I have my pet peeves. Trust me, you'll find out what they are, but I also don't have some that others do. Um, when you send me the Easter eggs, just you can. I mean, you can write what you want, but if you just want to list one, two, three, you don't have to number them. You can do number one, number two, number three. Great. If you want to write something, great. Okay, this is my social life. Okay, so always looking forward to hearing from people like Santa Claus at the North Pole, waiting for letters to come in. Um, but just put your course somewhere in there in terms of 301 or 302. That's all I need to know. Obviously, you're 301 because it's weird. At this time, I'm giving both courses the same Easter eggs. That's probably stupid, but these are very fundamental and foundational things that I'm getting across. And so I'm going to do the same on both. Just put, IDS 301, whatever. You can be simple about it, and you could, talk to me about stuff. I don't care. It's great. Okay. Either way. Okay. I'm probably saying okay 100 times in this video. That sucks. I'm trying a new module schedule for both classes. And I have a feeling there's a 50-50 chance it's going to bite me back. But the way I look at it is, see, we have 51 days in this session. First of all, 51 does not divide by 6 for the modules, nor does it divide by 7 for the weeks. It's 7 weeks plus 2 days. Okay, but we have 6 modules. Yes, could I make it 7? I don't know. I've talked about it, but summer classes are 6. So, I mean, I appreciate your patience, but I also appreciate your feedback. Do not stress about the modules or the due dates that much. Do stay in line with them. Don't freak out. There are no due dates for the Easter eggs. No, I mean, there's a due date. I want you to get them to me, but don't freak out if you miss it by a day or two, okay? Now, just for example, Module 1 is 7 days. Module 2 is 12 days. Module 3 is 7 days. Module 4 is 10 days. Module 5 is 8 days. And Module 6 is 7 days. I know that kind of probably sounds really dumb. It does to me, at least. But mostly it kind of screws me up in when I do my videos. I usually do them once a week. I reserve the right to change that, but I don't think I'm going to right now. I may change it for B or spring, but not now. So let's just look again at the modules as not these definitive, walls between the course. It's just a flow. Same with due dates. Due dates during the module are there to impress upon you the chronological order of the work to be done so that it's not all due in one day and then you're doing it all wrong, backwards. It's coming out with less quality than what you would normally bring to the table, okay? Yes, I did get this in Venice. Okay, so let's go with, and it's the same with due date changes. I changed a couple already, but if I do, I'm always pushing them back. Don't freak out. If you get upset about that, let me know. I mean, I've gotten evaluations about these things. There are some people that want to live and die by those due dates, but I'm very flexible. Again, you just need to tell me that you can't get your work. I don't care. I mean, like I said, you don't have to bring me an excuse. You don't have to send me the doctor stuff. You don't, unless it's after the fact, and maybe, yeah, we'll talk about it. I'll let you know. Other than that, it's about telling me, hey, I can't. I'll have it in Sunday. I can't today. I'm just, whatever, because people have full-time jobs Monday through Friday. People are doing weird things. They're not weird things, but we have schedules that are totally cockeyed in this COVID, right? So I'm willing to work with you. You have to do the work to pass the class. If you don't do the papers and things, you're not going to pass, no matter what deadline I put on it, right? Okay, so also, if you send me your Easter eggs or something and you don't see the points, especially after I've emailed you back saying thanks for viewing, give me a day. Sometimes, I'm sitting in the recliner over there somewhere and I ain't getting up and I ain't even looking at my laptop. So I might do it the next day, but I might just email you back on my phone because I like to give you a quick response. If you don't see points for anything, you get back to me and let me know. All right? Hey, old man, you losing it? You didn't give me my... No, don't say that, please. And the same with scores of anything. If you have scores that you are not happy with and you want to discuss it with me, please do that. please let me know. We can have a respectful conversation. Many times I change the score then. You make good points. Sometimes I'm just in a bad mood. Get off my lawn. Sorry, no. But hey, we're all humans, right? Sometimes we don't put our best work out there. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. It's so. All right. I put money down payment on my puppy today. I'm so excited about that. I have something to live for in December. Too bad you all won't be here when I show it off. But it's just can I take a break here just to show you what my puppy is going to be here? If you can see this, huh? There's my puppy. Okay, I'm getting a Bernese Mountain Dog. And, but I'll tell you more about that as we move along. I already got the name picked out, and I got pick of the litter. So if I was back in my old days, I'd do crazy Easter eggs like coffee, Coke Zero, iron. And then I thought I need to use, concepts and ideas that help you to remember things. Otherwise, I'd give you my dog's name. I already have it picked out. Especially you in California. Hopefully, you'll appreciate this, and the rest of you will think I'm insane. But a Bernese Mountain Dog is a big dog. Could be 120 pounds. So the name of it's going to be Big Sur, just like Big Sur, California, except SIR. Anyways, boy, I know you didn't come here for this, but I'm killing time while I get to the first Easter egg. First Easter egg is capitalize the disciplines. This is a tricky one. It takes a lot of students almost the whole semester to get this down. But here's what I'm going to impress upon you. Disciplines are, as you'll see from the text you're reading it, they're silos of learning. They're differentiated, like all their information and concepts are in a box. They're in a silo. They're parts of a university or academia that they rarely cross borders. They could gray a little bit, but they each have their concepts, their theories, their types of research that they do. Those are disciplines. And when we use them, we capitalize because they're proper nouns. But if we're not using them as a discipline, then it's not a proper noun. There's my pet peeve I was telling you about, one of them. So, for example, I'm going into business with my son. Did you hear that? Business is not capitalized. Just talking about it generally, okay? All right. But I have to write a paper for my business course, blah, blah, blah. Business is capitalized. Get the difference? Okay. Same with me. I have been working on communication with my sons. Communication is not capitalized. Okay. But if I am looking at forms of, or types of communication theory or anything like that, communication, it's capitalized. Remember that. Also, so the Easter egg capitalized discipline is really important, but I want to go indirectly off of that and say disciplines are not occupations, okay? So economics is a discipline. An economist is not a discipline, okay? Law enforcement can be a discipline, but a law enforcement officer is not a discipline, all right? Religious studies is a discipline. A rabbi is not a discipline, okay? Political science is a discipline. Politicians are not a discipline, okay? We're going to differentiate from that really clearly. And I want you to try to remember that, because when you get into this course 301, 302, especially in interdisciplinary studies, precision is important. Discipline is important, okay? In the many different ways discipline can be used. The discipline, I'm talking about is being rigorous, clear, precise, okay? So capitalizing the disciplines is important, all right, as well as all grammar, of course, but capitalize your disciplines, all right? And remember that disciplines are not occupations, okay? So let's talk about the assignment coming up here. It is, it should be right here, course modules, module 1. All right, if you read all that, that's Dr. Prisdia's work on doing well on discussion assignments, word on active reading. Read about the extra credit portfolio, do it at the end of the class. The musical introduction, like I said, Chef's Kiss, great job. This is the module 2. Okay, there's a discussion 1.2. This is where I have a little bit of disagreement with my colleague in terms of how we phrase that. When you think about the discussion, you're thinking about engaging with your fellow students. Now, I like it because A discussion board means you can look at everybody else's. There's that case where we're sharing, okay? And that can only help us in terms of our group knowledge as we go along and become interdisciplinarians. That's a mouthful, but it is interdisciplinarians. It is not, you are not an interdisciplinary, you are interdisciplinarian, okay? From the planet interdisciplinary, all right? So for this discussion, you in interdisciplinary studies, just copy these parts into, I see we've already got a couple of them posted up. Again, Chef's Kiss, thank you so much. Should I name you? Nestor, Jessica, and Alesia. Oh, I should find out how you say it before I say it. Very good. And look, the format's great. Check out how they did it. Yes, you're going to get a lot of number ones are going to come up because that's just the way copy and paste works here. It's kind of a mess. If you want to rechange that, do it. Take a look at how these are formatted. Yes, I'm a format freak, but we're going to go over what's important to me. This is good. If you read these, I can see it. I can see where the different paragraphs are. It's wonderful. It makes it easier for me to look at 58 different entries, right? Okay, so check it out though. You're just going to answer these questions on A and B. As we move more and more along, you are going to leave the work. Now, what does that mean, Professor Pear? Well, it means that, and you might have encountered this in your scholarly writing and things like that. In most cases, you don't get to appear. There's no I, there's no me, there's no my. Now, when we're talking about ourselves in these papers, absolutely, you're going to say I, me, my, you know. But when you get to academic papers, just think about that. Think about either when you're in high school or other classes, take your history book. You know, you read, okay, the American Civil War began, blah, blah, blah. You didn't read. I always wanted to write about the American Civil War because back when I grew up whoever writes those texts is keeping themselves out of it, but somebody writes them, right? So that's the example I can give you. Please be cognizant of that, okay, as you move along, but don't worry about it now. If I'm asking you about you, you can put in you can put your I, me, my, all right? So, did we do Easter egg number 2 yet? No, we did not. So let's say Easter egg number 2 is no I, me, and my. No I, me, my, all right? You can get that. All right. So as you know, this is more of a conceptual course, I would call it. My 302 is more hands-on, more applied interdisciplinary studies, integrative work in 302. 301, I want you to try to wrap your brain around. I want you to be able to wrap your brain around it conceptually. All right. So to do that, I mean, we could mention that you've been doing integration your whole life, right? Interdisciplinary integration, right? I researched a 3-month trip to Europe. Excuse me. You know, I had 17 different Airbnbs, I had airplanes, I had cars, I had ferry boats, I had trains, I had so much going on. But I researched it and I integrated so many different modes of travel and places to stay and considering, you know, costs. So we integrate all day long, right? It's not a surprise. But what does that look like in academia? All right, in school? Like, what does it look like when you got to put it on paper? All right, so that's where we get into the interdisciplinary studies. And if you're reading this, Tanner, if you did the readings, you're going to understand that. So let's look at a few places that I have highlighted. The introduction, I'm just going to go over these. Introduction, page 11. Integrative studies is a curricular approach to integrative learning and interdisciplinarity. Okay, basically. Okay, interdisciplinary is an approach to solving complex problems from multiple perspectives. I always dangerous to use multiple because we're not multidisciplined, okay? It's integrating and solving complex problems of the 21st century. We can look at something like Black Lives Matter movement that we saw over the summer. We can consider that as interdisciplinarians. We can look at it from a point of view of political science, what's going on, from sociology, African American studies, economics, law enforcement. All these different disciplines is different than you and I having a conversation about it. Now we're thinking as scholars, and say, okay, let's analyze this. And let's do it from an interdisciplinary point. Because if we did it multidisciplinary, political science, we would have a political scientist. Economics, we would have an economist. We could have gender studies specialists. We could have a African American studies specialist. We could have all kinds of different specialists who do not talk to each other. And why does my stuff keep going off? They don't talk to each other, so they're doing their work maybe to one direction, but it's multidisciplinary. If it was interdisciplinary, they would all talk to each other. They would all say, well, look, the political aspects of this, okay, the even public health during a COVID crisis. They would have to compare numbers, crunch things, look at things, and whatever is needed to be to deal with a solution. All right, to analyze, maybe you need communication in there to talk about what does defund the police mean. Some people mean, oh, they don't want police, it's havoc. Other people say, no, it's metaphorical to let's take the militarization of police out. Let's watch that police budget in LA County being more than most countries in the world's defense budget is, okay? It says something about our society. But anyways, that's not a conversation, but I'm just trying to illustrate interdisciplinarity to you there, okay? So keep reading on here. Okay, students in this type of program may have difficulty marketing themselves and their degree to potential employers because of a lack of deliberate connection. Remember that. You're like, I want to go into marketing, but my degree is interdisciplinary studies. How do you sell that? How do you show a potential employer your value? This is what I want you to get through in this class on this, all right? To have a deliberate connection to what you want, okay? All right. An integrative education does not purport to integrate all possible connections. Rather, it is about making meaningful connections between intentional areas of study. So we're not, going back to the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm not taking every possibility. My God, you can just imagine how many different things we can come into on that. Okay. But to have a deliberate, meaningful connections that we want to study in an academic setting. Okay. Sometimes it's a tightrope to walk, but it has great value in knowledge, because you could tell if you read an article on the web about Black Lives Matter, you could probably know what the bias was depending on who wrote it. Where is it coming from? Fox News? Is it coming from a more of a liberal site? Are they using words like Marxism and things like that? So where do we figure out what our truth or the facts are going to be? Interdisciplinarity is an approach to answering questions, solving problems, and addressing contemporary social issues from multiple perspectives. You have to have questions. You have to have a problem or something to solve with interdisciplinary studies. You have to have a reason for doing it. Okay, it doesn't hold its own without that. All right. Going to move on here to chapter 1. I'm just highlighting. I hope you read this. The key terms, you'll see those, right? I would rather have you look at the pyramid that we have in downloaded. The bottom of the pyramid is disciplinary. It's intradisciplinary. Intra is one discipline. Next level up is cross-disciplinary. That means looking at one discipline item through the eyes of another, like looking at the mathematics of music, right? There's 2 different disciplines in there, okay? Looking at, through religious studies, looking at domestic terrorism, okay? Or looking at economics at political science, okay? It's cross-disciplinary, you're going through that. The next level up is multidisciplinary. We talking about before, all these different disciplines, not talking to each other, just doing multiple disciplines. If you had a double major, you'd be doing multidisciplinary work, okay? But interdisciplinary, now you're talking about, remember that, IDS equals integration. Talking about integrating, you're talking about looking at all sides of everything and not just having dominant, because the architect spoke louder than the dentist, so his way is, that's the bridge we're building. The dentist wanted to build a bridge of teeth. The architect wanted to build a bridge over the street. and the musician wanted to have a bridge in their song, and they just weren't communicating. Wonder why, right? So that's where we get into terminology and things. All right, so the terms integrative and interdisciplinary studies refer to a particular approach of study. So remember when I say IDS equals integration, I'm just wanting you to connect those, okay? I'm not saying they're the same, but they're kind of equal. Interdisciplinary studies is an academic field, okay? And integration is a process that we use in many cases, but one helps to explain the other one, right? All right, so please read about this. I am skipping over a couple things. Discipline. Interdisciplinarians and integrative learners are valuable to our society. An interdisciplinary degree can be very valuable to you and some employers, okay, but more are coming, right? Okay, so let me keep going. Be sure to read about interdisciplinarity here with, come on, darken the picture up here. There it is. This page 9 is that. Julianne Klein, Bill Newell. Oh boy, hello. Oh, now we got problems. Okay. Bill Newell, Julianne Klein, and William Repko. No, that's not his name, is it? Repko. They are the leaders in the field, and they are going to talk to you about what this is. Now, I notice he uses Oxford English Dictionary. My recommendation is do not use the dictionary as a source in college. You're bigger than that, okay? Integrate study, okay, conclusion, complexity. All right, let's go to chapter 2. There's the history of interdisciplinary. I highlighted this up on top. Well, forget it. Top of page 16. Plato, Aristotle, Kant, Hegel. Familiarize yourself a little bit with that, okay? Plato and Aristotle and that. Quiz tip. Leonardo da Vinci was a polymath. What's a polymath, right? You know what that is yet? Have you figured it out? That's Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, so, man, I'm wearing my Venice shirt. All right, so the Association for Interdisciplinary Studies, that's our organization that I belong to. It's an academic organization, all right? It doesn't take, it's not biased. All right, then you're gonna get into some more applications. Let's see, you guys have to read this. I kind of was rereading for both classes because I use the same text in both. So, oh, you guys only had to read Tanner Introduction. Boy, did I give you too much. That's all right. So then look at 27 minutes. Boy, did I screw that up. Sorry, but I won't talk about that next video then, okay? Look at the Tanner IDS model. The IDS degree program internet research. That is to be done on a Word doc, okay? And submitted, uploaded in there, okay? It's due on the 26th. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? And I will be happy to answer those. Again, sorry I went through, but it'll prepare you for your readings, as you know that I consider this important. Remember, I told you at one of my evaluations that I wish you talked more about the readings. It felt like we were teaching ourselves. Well, normally instructors don't do videos, so you'd have to teach yourself on that anyways. I'm not going to write you. If I had to write you another book to explain the book, it's kind of just weird, right? Okay, so all in all, Easter egg number 3, don't stress, okay? No, I know you will. It's fine. There's good stress, and you should be a little stressed on this. But I'm just saying, don't stress yourself to the point of immobilization where you can't move. You're either spinning your wheels or you can't even spin your wheels. Get a hold of me. This is a good course. 301, 302, I believe, are great courses for lifetime learners, people that are setting themselves up for their future in ways of thinking. It's not learning about how to think. You already think. But be ready to learn more. Be open-minded to learn, okay? I will, I promise. So let me know if anything else going on. Forks up. Take it easy. Have a good one. See you later in the week.